It is now time for your PWP Live main event.
And it's scheduled for one fall.
It is scheduled for one fall, and it is
Yeah.
for the PWP Championship. As we see the challenger, Pat Powers, take on the reigning and defending PWP champion, Joey Daniels.
Now, let's just jump right into this. Pat Powers, he got this opportunity by winning the Battle of the Phoenix. That was last March. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Both M's. He defeated everyone. Everyone went over the top rope except for Pat.
That's right.
And he earned this opportunity to face Joey Daniels, the veteran of veterans in PWP, for that title.
Yeah. You know, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
For Joey Daniels, for being here longer than anyone else on the active roster. He had never held that championship. He had never held the PWP championship.
Nope.
He was always known as a tag team specialist.
Yeah, him and his brother Paul, they've held the PWP tag team championships more than anyone else in history. Joey Daniels also held the Rising Phoenix Championship, and I mean, he was always, he's always been around, but he's just never held the big one.
Yeah.
Until just recently. He aligned himself with other wrestlers, younger guys, created the new era, and they took over PWP. They took over PWP. Let's be frank. That's exactly what they did.
Right. Has there ever been in PWP's 20 years where an entire stable held all the championships?
I don't believe every single title. No, I mean, we've had stables that have gathered the majority, like the tag and one of the singles titles. But yeah, no, this is the first time that 3 different championship title reigns were all under one banner, and that being the new era here.
And I think now, of course, those individual wrestlers bring their own skills to the table, and rightfully, would have had the chance to become champions on their own in the future. But with Joey Daniels in charge, looking over everything, I think he fast-tracked a lot of them, giving them new confidence, new tools to get them to those heights.
Now we can argue that maybe Joey didn't have a physical interference for the Lady Killers to gather their championships, but I mean, let's be honest here. The new era made Ryan Romanek the champion. And that's all due to Joey's leadership here. Joey Daniels has been here for 20 years now. He by far, I've talked about this at the top of the show. There is a short list of people that have had 100 matches in PWP. There's only one person that's had over 200 matches, and that is Joey Daniels. In fact, he is very close to hitting 300. It is a huge gap between number 1 and number 2. Okay. Now, flip side, Pat Powers. That short list, he's on that too.
Yeah.
Okay. He's up there. He's about to hit his 200th match as well. He's been around for 10 years now. Pat Powers is also a veteran within PWP.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about the strengths of Joey Daniels and throughout this entire thing, the new era. But don't let it be mistaken that Pat Powers is I mean, he's not just the number one contender. He is a top contender of, again, one of PWP's best of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Pat is a very accomplished and successful wrestler. We've talked about, where, some of these wrestlers have gone to and come from and trained at, Pat Powers, trained with ECW original Steve
Mm-hmm.
Corino.
Yeah, the king of old school, Steve Corino. That's a guy that you don't run into these wrestlers that were trained by him any longer, really.
No.
I mean, this Steve Corino is an old school guy, a totally different breed of wrestler. And Pat Powers learned directly from that. An era where it was beat down, beat them up. I mean,
And I mean, there's a list of people, but I'm going to narrow it all the way down to one. And because of Pat's work with Steve Corino, he has rubbed elbows professionally
mm-hmm.
with the likes of Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Need I even list any other people that he's done work with in wrestling?
Yeah. No, we could be here a while and
Pat,
talk about all the things that Pat's done in professional wrestling. I mean, like I said, he's a veteran in his own right, just like Joey
yes,
Daniels. But this is a big match, okay? This is fitting for the 20th anniversary main event. Pat
yes,
Powers and Joey Daniels, both arguably at their peak. They've been here for a
yeah,
while. This is like, you look at some of the guys there. You look at AJ Styles, for example.
mm,
Look, he was in WCW for a short time before it
yeah,
folded. He was in TNA for a long part of his career, but you can arguably say his best work was in WWE when he was an older wrestler.
sure.
Let's look at Joey Daniels. Let's look at Pat Powers. They're both getting to that time period. They're at arguably the prime of their career.
Yeah. Um, I mean, they've each had very big moments over their time as wrestlers, but maybe none as big as this.
No, no,
None as
this is
important as this.
no, not at all. I mean, you can't get on a bigger stage than this.
Right.
This is the point where we're hitting new frontiers in PWP,
Yeah.
and they're at the front line of it. They are the headline
Yes.
of the new frontier. I'm not going to say new era because that's Joey Daniels' trademark right there.
Yes.
But both of them together, they're coming at this, and they both want this.
Right.
Joey Daniels obviously does not want to give up his title. Pat Powers, he wants to become the first 4-time PWP Live champion. That's
Right.
never been done in
You're
20 years. That's insane to me.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And there's a good possibility that Pat could become that first ever 4-time PWP champion.
He could. He could.
Um,
But if we're going to talk about history here, let's
yeah,
look at Pat's history. He said it himself. If he's in the main event, if he's headlining an anniversary show, history says he loses.
every singles main event match that Pat has had at an anniversary spectacular has
Mm-hmm.
not been so spectacular for Pat Powers.
Not for Pat, no.
Is it that the biggest match of the year gets
It could
inside of
be.
his head a little too much.
I mean, you talk to Pat, you see Pat on the ring, you don't really feel like anything rattles him. I mean, he's been on a big stage before, and normally, yeah, no, he's usually unfazed, but maybe there is something in the back of his head. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm here," and he
Maybe,
just can't get the job done. Maybe,
but he he's got something that he wants to prove uh,
he has a
to
mission.
everyone, to himself.
Mm-hmm.
He, if you think about it, while yes, Joey is the longest tenured veteran,
Mm-hmm.
he he we said it earlier, he's smart. He
Mm-hmm.
concocted this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, the new era started against Pat Powers. Pat Powers wants to prove that he's still got it,
Mm-hmm.
that he's not some old dog in a young man's game. He wants to prove that he is still the best and that he will become the PWP champion again.
For the fourth time,
Yes,
never been done. Yeah.
he has fire and something to prove.
But you saw it in his message, he was not the same Pat Powers, okay? He was a lot more somber, a lot
Yes.
more relaxed. Like is we've seen him. He's out there. He's talking loud always. He's saying yum yum get son. And this time he was sat down and he was talking
Yeah.
quiet, well not quiet, but like he was delivering a message
Yes.
to the audience. I don't know if it was even towards Joey. He was why would he tell Joey, hey, you got me in a main event? I don't do so good in main events. He's maybe that was him reflecting for himself.
Right. I think Pat, yes, he wants to beat Joey Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
but more than ever, he needs
Mm-hmm.
to beat Joey Daniels because he not only wants to prove himself right, he wants to prove his supporters right. He doesn't want to prove his naysayers wrong.
No,
He doesn't care about that anymore.
no.
He wants to prove that he still belongs here. Because if you look at Pat over the last several months, things have not been coming up very Pat lately.
No, I mean he seems to be on like a losing streak, honestly.
Right.
Uh
He pulled out enough in the Battle of the Phoenix to win it. But
yeah, and he
even then
survived the Battle of
after,
Phoenix, really. I
huh?
mean, he survived the Battle of Phoenix,
Yes,
really.
yes,
It,
yes.
that's more how to describe it. Yeah, sure. We saw at the end of the match, it ended up being Henry Davis and Party Poison in the match with Pat.
Yeah.
He survived it. How I dumb luck maybe, because uh we saw Party Poison try to whip Pat into Henry to whip him over and over the top rope and eliminate him. Of course, Pat managed to reverse it to make it so Party went over the top rope, and then from there, Henry Davis pretty much had it won. He had Pat over the top rope, and he just was able to pull out a cutter at the apron of the ring
Mm-hmm.
to make Henry uh, have both feet touch the
Yeah.
ground, leading up to this match. And ever since then, I mean, Pat's not been on a winning streak.
No.
Hell, last month alone, we saw Joey Daniels and Ryan Romanic. They beat JC and Pat. That's kind of the story. Pat's been losing.
Right. Right. So again, Pat has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
But again, he's beyond trying to prove the people who are going like, he doesn't have it anymore. Look at the losing streak. It's beyond proving them wrong. Again, he wants to prove himself right.
Yeah.
That he is still arguably number one in PWP.
But who needs it more? I mean, we're talking about Pat needing it, but Joey needs this. Joey is the leader of the new era. Okay, they're going into the 20th anniversary. He is the veteran of PWP. He's got to win this match. He's got to prove that he is deserving of being there the longest.
You're right.
Know?
What's it look like if he loses?
Yeah.
What's it look like to the rest of the new era?
Exactly.
Who potentially wins and retains? It don't look so great
Can they have a leader without a belt when everyone else has their own titles?
I don't know.
Who needs this more?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Who do we decide?
Oh, okay.
Needs this more?
Who needs that's what it comes down to, is who needs this more? Who needs that?
Listen. I'm a ring announcer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a wrestler. But I've been put in a couple situations where I had to. And one of those situations was alongside Pat Powers.
Mm-hmm.
And he took me under his wing. And I saw what goes into the drive to win, the passion, if you will, to win. But I'll summarize it with this.
Okay.
Pat Powers is vying to win the PWP championship for the 4th time.
Mm-hmm.
That means he's lost it 3 times.
Yeah.
Joey Daniels may have only won it once. But that's all you need. If you keep that championship and you hold it one time and you don't lose it, it means you never lost the championship.
Yeah, you don't need a second term if you've always had it.
Right.
You're right.
So, who needs it more? And who do I think comes out on top? It's Joey Daniels.
Wow. So, from an analytic statistics and stuff like that, yeah, no, it's kind of a toss-up. Both Pat and Joey have right around the same amount of wins over their career, percentage-wise, of course, not actual wins, because Joey is just so far ahead of everyone when it comes to match count. Pat has his buddies. Joey has the new era. But I think that's how I have to look at this. If you have Pat and his friends versus Joey Daniels in the new era, you got to look at history. The new era comes on top every single time. They have all those titles for a reason. And I think that's what we're going to end up being. I think this is going to be a numbers game. Joey Daniels is going to use every antic he possibly can. He will do whatever it takes to keep that title. He does not want to lose that title. He wants to keep it forever. And knowing Joey and his longevity so far, he very well could keep it forever. So therefore, I think Joey Daniels will win against Pat Powers, and Pat Powers will still continue to have his losing streak in the main event and anniversary shows.
You know, you try to stay unbiased.
I know.
I love Pat.
Yeah.
But you get rid of that bias and you look at how things will play out.
It's
wild to say that we both feel Joey Daniels is doing this, but
yeah, this is no hard feelings. This is nothing against Pat. It's just, I'm sorry, bud. Like, this is, I know you have the drive. I know you do, Pat. I really do. But dude, you have a huge mountain to overcome in Joey Daniels. And I don't think Joey's ready to give up his spot. He's just not. He will do anything.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, a very somber way of ending this, but yeah, that's 20th anniversary in a nutshell.
May 28th, Waiting Room Lounge, Omaha, Nebraska. Event.
It's going to be packed. It's going to sell out. So, yeah, this is an event you do not want to miss. Get through the doors if you can. If you got to stand to watch, do so. Do so. This is going to be the event of the year. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I don't know what else more can be said. You will regret it. If you're a fan that comes out to PWP, loves professional wrestling in Omaha, and you miss this, you will regret it. Whether the outcomes are what you're rooting for happen that way or not, you're going to see something amazing and special that will go down in not only PWP's history, but in professional wrestling in this area's history as well.
Absolutely. The PWP has been around for 20 years for a reason, not slowing down anytime soon. Come find out why that is the case.
There you have it. We'll see you May 28th at PWP Live's 20th Anniversary Spectacular.